Hey there, everyone, and good morning from Tasmania, although not such a good morning here with breaking news earlier today that there has been a triple shooting in the northwest of Tasmania. Hi, BR the Star. Ruth, hello, Scout Inquirer. I've just raced back from the gym. I didn't do very well with chin-ups today. I normally do 2 sets of 12. I did a set of 12 and a set of 5. A bit of pain. Hi again, Morgan. So there is a press conference happening at 11 a.m., which is now 11:02 a.m. I'm just constantly refreshing a couple of different websites to see if we get access to the press conference. There has been a bit more information put out since I last went live. No, BR the Star, no, there's not, which is why this is such an unusual story. We've got incredibly strict gun regulations. Like anything, of course, there are loopholes and, there's obviously a black market for guns and so on, but it's a very unusual headline. And I was literally heading out. Hey again, Francesca. I was heading out this morning to go to the gym and feed 3 cats at a friend of mine's house. And, sort of getting an alert from ABC News on my phone with the headline, Tasmanian triple shooting leaves 2 dead and 1 injured was like, wow, that's a bit full on and not very typical in Australia generally. Oh, good morning, Serenity B. So I've come straight from the gym. I'm sweaty and revolting. I will not be camming up. You do not need to see me post-gym ever. I'm keeping an eye on the Tasmania Police Facebook page where they have put a bit of information up, but the ABC has actually got a far more detailed article now. Hey, Cody. Hi, Emily. It's a state. Tasmania's a state. Province would be nice. We were nearly founded by the French. I often wonder what life would have been like if Tasmania had been a French colony and mainland Australia an English colony. Would have been very interesting. That's right, Francesca. Gun violence here usually is gang-related. These people were known to each other. The alleged perpetrator is one of the 2 dead men, and there is also a woman who was injured. But let me just see if I can get this screen up. It's not like the US, where we all sort of sit and wait and the press conference starts. I don't actually know where the Devonport Police. Hang on, let me just Google. We'll be broadcasting, but the ABC is usually a guaranteed source of information and press conferences and videos and so on. But it's making a lot of news channels now, but I just can't find information about who might be covering the press conference. I just keep refreshing pages and re-Googling. But there's a few photos up now. Every article mentions the 11 a.m. press conference. They might still be getting bits and pieces together to do it. I don't know. We'll hang around for a little while and see if it happens. But yeah, so far no updates from Tasmania Police. Hi, Sarita. Hi, Miss K again. Hello, anyone else who's come cruising in. We've just gone live to see if we can stream the press conference, which was meant to start 6 minutes ago in Devonport, but I'm having trouble finding anywhere that's actually streaming at the moment. So let me just add to this article, which has been updated a bit more. This is the one we were looking at earlier today. There's more photos and so on. I'll just keep refreshing. God, I got hot at the gym. I don't like working out in a hot gym on a hot day. It's gross. So, look, in a nutshell, at 1 o'clock this morning in Devonport, which is a town in the northwest of Tasmania, police officers received calls about reports of gunshots, and they attended at a house in William Street, Devonport. They found one man dead inside the house. A second wounded man died a short time later, and a woman found wounded outside the house is in hospital. In a statement, police said early investigations indicated the dead man was the alleged shooter and that he knew both of his victims. The firearm used in the shooting was recovered at the scene. Police said there's no further concern for community safety. The condition of the woman remains unclear. 2 children who were at the property at the time of the shooting were not injured, but have been transported to the Launceston General Hospital as a precaution. Now, Launceston is more north than northwest, and it's just over an hour's drive from Devonport where the shooting happened. Detective Inspector Kim Stephen will hold a media conference about the shooting at 11 a.m. in Devonport. It's now 11:08. Not that I'm having a go at them. Just letting you know what the time is. Police have asked people to stay away from the William Street area while investigations continue. And it's weird because I know people that used to live in William Street. This is very familiar. Oh, I've been scrolling down the wrong page. Hang on, I'll just refresh this other one. I've been scrolling down and we've got the text anyway. So I'll go to the page that I'm actually showing you, Groovers. So these photos that have come out today from this morning, they've closed off William Street. They're investigating, and presumably based on the information they've put out so far, the woman who was found outside the house may have been out the front of the house on the footpath where the police are in that photo, or evidence may have been dropped there. Yeah, the children, I mean, hopefully because it was 1 a.m, they slept through it, but we don't even want to think about them waking up and what they might have seen. Horrific. Oh, you've got some family friends here, Cody? Yeah. It's just so unusual to see a headline in Australia. I mean, it doesn't not happen here, but it's so rare. We don't have a right to bear arms in Australia. We've got very strict gun control. There are, of course, ways people can get guns if they really want to, but sorry, I'm sculling water. I'm thirsty. I just worked my little butt off. There's still no further updates on the Tasmania Police Facebook page, where they often will put things. Let me just see. A different channel. I'm still here, guys. I'm just reading the ABC TV website to see if there's any notifications on there about streaming. So, yeah, there's one photo. It's a really beautiful street, William Street. Lovely houses along there. So that's just another shot of this is William Street. Interestingly, the Devonport Police Station is at the end of William Street. But just another photo with the crime scene taped off. Here's another photo showing that William Street's been closed off. And that's it at the moment. We might just hang around and see if we get a press conference. But Australia is incredibly different to other parts of the world in the amount of information and footage and stuff that comes out. I think with Cleo Smith, I've got 3 pages open now. Cleo Smith's case, if he pleads guilty, we'll probably never know the story or what happened unless someone sits in court and tweets information out. But it's not like the Chris Watts case where, the discovery was released. That just doesn't happen here. That's one of the reasons I was so hooked on that case. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I mean, as a criminal defence lawyer, I've obviously got access or had access in the past to all of the discovery and cases, but for that sort of stuff to be released to the public is just... Did I end up scrolling down the right page for you guys? Yeah. Hey, Scott. Back to chat. Emily, I still support gun rights, but I do wish it were more controlled. I do too. And the thing is, Emily, a lot of people in Australia, when they participate in conversations with Americans about gun control, they're ridiculous in thinking that the sort of gun control that we have here could ever happen in the States. Like, it's just not going to happen. A, it's a constitutional right, and B, there's more guns than people in the States now. So gun control or tightening regulations, making it harder to get a gun, having to maintain a license, like essentially being assessed, annually. There are a lot of other things that can be put into place. But, yeah, there's never going to be the sort of gun control like we had with a massive gun amnesty. God, sorry, guys. I haven't eaten yet either. I've come straight from the gym. I usually have a protein shake now, but I've just gone live straight away. But, yeah, it's just not possible to have the same sort of gun control that we've got here in the States. But learning from incidences and how things can be, more strictly regulated. I also think, there's so many horrible cases of shootings of little toddlers grabbing guns and, fatally shooting a parent. Owners do have a lot of responsibility if they own a gun, and leaving a loaded gun lying around, not a good look. Yeah, the police do carry guns here, but not all the time. Depends where they're assigned and what they're doing, but for the most part, yeah, they do carry guns. But our cops here don't shoot to kill. So if, somebody's wielding a knife or whatever, they'll shoot them in the leg or something to stop them running away. They don't shoot to kill. They shoot to disable or disarm so they can arrest someone. I think it's a completely different sort of approach. It blows my mind how many people are shot in America, and you think, wow, you could have actually have learnt a lot from that offender by keeping them alive. Sometimes offenders won't talk, but if they do... Bare arms, arm bears. If you have them with a permit for self-defence, yes. Otherwise, no. Yeah, see, Australians don't get to own a gun for self-defence. Our self-defence laws are fascinating. Like, if someone breaks into your house and they're wielding a feather duster and you pull out a gun and shoot them, you will go to jail for murder. Self-defence has to be matched. So if you ran at them with a feather duster and clocked them on the head and they ran out the door, that's fine. Or if they had a feather allergy and sued you for that. But you can't take on someone with a feather duster with a gun. That won't stand up in court. Most gun owners that hurt people, yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's a black market, everywhere for guns and all kinds of things. So people can get them if they really want them. I don't know where this press conference is happening, if it's happening. I might go and make myself some post-gym foodage. There's no updates on the Tas poll. Let me see if Devonport Police has anything. I looked there earlier and it was a very snoozy little... There's still no updates. It's just awful. The family and friends of the victims, and of course these little children as well. It's chilling, and it's a chilling headline to read, especially being in Tasmania. It's oh no. There was a headline that I wonder if yeah. Okay, so they've held the press conference, but it wasn't streamed. There is a bit more information, and some of you may not want to hear it. Just letting you know in advance that they've held the press conference. It wasn't live streamed because that's not a very Aussie thing to do. But they do hold a press conference to give information to the media for them to put out, and I will share the... sorry, I've refreshed... Have I refreshed the right article? Yeah, there is a little bit more information, and it's not great, guys, about the kids. Yeah, very similar to us, Ruth. If you try and defend yourself, half the time you get prosecuted. Exactly. Yeah, unless you're getting shot at, I agree, shoot to disable. I mean, I saw a guy the other day, I watched a video, I wish I hadn't now, who got pulled over by the cops, and I think 6 officers ended up shooting the absolute crap out of this guy and into the car, and they were screaming at him going, raise your hands, and he'd already been shot repeatedly. Like, seriously, it was horrible. I wish I hadn't watched it. So, hi, Lady. Yeah, one of the kids did witness it, but I'll just give you the additional information that's come out from the press conference. Am I showing you the right screen? I hope so. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay. I'll just what we were saying, we hope they didn't witness anything. Unfortunately, one of them did. So these are just the additional bits of information, and it's not much at all, but the press conference did go ahead, and Detective Inspector Kim Stevens said the woman was in a serious but stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. He said one of the children, aged 10, had witnessed the shooting and was being cared for by a psychologist. And then it just goes back to the article that we read out before. They were at the property, but they'd been transported to the Launceston General Hospital and asking people to stay away. And that's the only additional information that's been provided following the press conference. So there may well be updates. Let me just check the Twitters. Yeah, that looks like so there were, Twitter, there were a 10-year-old and a 12-month-old were in the house. So the little one, the 10-month-old, hopefully didn't witness, and it doesn't sound like the little baby did. Okay, so yeah, a 10-year-old and a 12-month-old were in the house when the triple shooting took place. And the 10-year-old witnessed it and is now in the care of a psychologist, which is great that, they've reacted. Yeah, it's wonderful news. They've whisked the baby and the 10-year-old to a hospital, which is just over an hour away from Devonport. But yeah, it's horrible. And of course, we don't know yet the relationship to the children, but there are no mention of any other adults. So the fact that there were two men, one of them was alive but died of his injuries, the other one was dead, and there was a woman shot and injured and found outside the house. But you would have to think that at least, it makes sense that one of the men and the woman would have been the parents of the children. So that's pretty horrible. I think the little one's going to need a lot of psychological help, as will the woman. It's not common for a story like this. It's kind of, it's shocking. I keep getting chills down my spine. It's horrible. Police are still on the scene in William Street. Hey, this is weird. There was a triple shooting in Devonport where this triple shooting's taken place in 2011. And a police officer was charged with making false statements and was sacked. And there was also discussion about the cop being, facing criminal charges as well. And he pled not guilty. Interesting. See, a cop that gives a false statement gets sacked and charged, and even discussion about criminal charges. But giddy up over to YouTube land, the wild, wild west, say whatever you want. No ramifications. Yeah, thank goodness Sarita agreed that he didn't hurt the children. Although, one of them, the 10-year-old, will probably have psychological injuries, but, and the mother too, or the woman too. Sorry, I shouldn't say mother, that's not confirmed yet. I saw another comment in chat from Scout. Did they say why this happened? Was it no? They were all known to each other. Sounds like an argument broke out, but no, there's not a lot of information. Like even the press conference, the only information they've released, which is a relief on the one hand that the woman's condition is serious, but she's stable and it's not life threatening. So that's good news. They've updated that there was a 10-year-old who witnessed it and also a 12-month-old baby. But police did say earlier in a statement that one of the dead men was the alleged shooter and that he knew the victims. The 10-year-old is currently being cared for by a psychologist at Launceston General Hospital. And that's really all that's come out. There's no more. I'll just check the Tasmania Police Facebook page and see if they've put anything on there. They close comments on this, which is great because it stops all the little social media sleuths adding their 2 bits worth and potentially messing with a case. Yeah, so there's no further updates, but it is very sad for the families involved. Yeah, that's true, Emily. I mean, look, information will come out at some point, but it's nothing like the sort of information and the amount of information you guys get access to. Even the news, not much released yet. It looks like the press conference has been held, but it wasn't streamed anywhere that I could find. Well, it wasn't streamed on the Tasmania Police Facebook page, and it wasn't streamed on the ABC page, which is where I go for my news because they're credible. Yes, one of the dead is the alleged shooter, Emily. Interesting too that other triple shooting, the same thing happened. The one that I was just mentioning before that I just found on Twitter back in 2011, where the police officer was sacked after giving a false statement, plus discussion about him being charged with criminal offences. But I did click on a little link to that one, and Benjamin Ahern, 31, and his 23-year-old girlfriend, Christina Rowlands. Well, Benjamin was shot dead. His girlfriend was seriously injured, and then the gunman turned the gun on himself. Yeah, it's a shame he wasn't the only one. It's interesting too because, well, it's tragic. But one of the men wasn't killed instantly, but then died of his injuries, and you wonder if that was, that man and the woman were a couple, and they both ended up being shot and injured. Unfortunately, one of them fatally, but not immediately. But the other dude, it was a fatal shot. So you kind of wonder. But yeah, not great news. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm definitely going to go down to the beach later. I am going to be making the coconut chicken salad. If anyone wants to come and hang out in the shitty kitty kitchen, I'll set up a live for that. I'm going to go and eat some food. It's 11:30 a.m. I've been to the gym and I've been to feed my friend's cats, and I'm starting to wilt a little bit, not going to lie. But yeah, I'll be doing some cooking therapy possibly, because I do want to go do a live about and also thank you to Stop Animal Cruelty. She's not in the chat right now, but she sent me a horrible type of crime that happens, especially leading into Christmas. It might be good to do a live and discuss it. It's pretty delicate though, so I'm going to have to be very careful if I do it, how it's all worded and so on. Oh, well, Emily, this salad will be so up your alley if you don't eat chicken and you hate coconut. Cody, on the other hand, can't wait for the cooking. But yeah, I might do a bit of cooking therapy and while we're cooking, talk about why on YouTube, if you have a differing opinion to someone, you can't just be told you've got a different opinion. You are automatically a drama queen, a drama llama, creating drama. Once again, the extremes of YouTube. There's never any middle ground. You try to have a discussion with a different point of view and you're suddenly labelled, it's all, you're inciting drama. No, I'm actually inciting a discussion because I like having them. Oh, Scott, you're in for a treat. Some huge pork steaks for dinner. That sounds like good food for you, Scott. I don't eat pork. I'm allergic to it, but I do remember the joy of pork when I was young. There we go. Sarita loves a bit of coconut. Coconut. I still have the groovy apron. I'll wear it today especially because I'll be doing some cooking therapy. After being on a shakes diet all week, food is calling my name. Yeah, it would be. This salad is really fresh. It's beautiful. It's poached chicken that gets poached in the sort of Thai spices. And then that gets shredded and you chop up a heap of cucumber, sugar snap peas, snow peas. I've only got snow peas, but yum. And then you make a dressing with coconut cream. It's so good. And there's rice as well. It's a really hearty bowl. And you can add heaps of things to it if you want, like um, the little, Asian deep fried shallots and all sorts of stuff. Like you can zhuzh it, bling it up. You prefer mung beans? I'll cook a mung bean one day just for you, Emily. Yes, a lot of coriander, Lee. In the chicken poaching liquid has coriander, and so does the dressing. And we'll talk about the joy of coriander because I, like many people, the first time I ate it, it was literally as a leaf, like it was put on a dish like a garnish, like you put parsley on a dish, and texturally, no good for me. Then when I lived in Vietnam, we did a cooking class one day, and the cook was like, and my ex, not the one I was in Vietnam with, but previous ex, when we were addicted to Thai food, we used to just leave coriander out because we wasn't a fan. This is me without food. I'm getting hangry. I'm not hangry, but I'm getting hungry. My brain is very hungry. Oh, the stalks definitely go in, and I love me a coriander root too. But when I was in Vietnam, we went to my other ex and I went to a cooking school, and we were talking about coriander and how divisive and polarizing it can be. And she was like, just chop it up really finely. It becomes a completely different herb. And so ever since then, I've chopped my coriander finely and I love it. Love, love, love it. Well, I hope you enjoy your pork steak, Scott. You're going to be putting pork on your fork because you dig the pig. Oh, thank you, Emily. Even though I'm cooking things you don't like today. Not a lot of cooking. It is a salad mostly, but it's just so fresh and yummy. And when you make the dressing, if you keep the dressing separate, the salad will last in your fridge for days. And so you can take it like as lunch. You can have it as, dinner. And it's yummy, yummy. And it's very easy. Hi, Joey. Always arriving dramatically. Yeah, there's been a triple shooting in Tasmania this morning, 1 a.m. this morning in Devonport. I was heading out to the gym earlier and I got a notification from the ABC about it. I was like, shit, better go live. So I did. Then I went and fed my friend's cats, took some videos and photos of them to send to their mum and dad. And then I went to the gym. And then I raced home for the 11 a.m. press conference, but it wasn't streamed or televised, which is not uncommon in Australia, as you would know. It's a triple shooting. I'll quickly run back through the story one more time. So, yes, 2 people are dead, including the alleged shooter and another man, and then a woman has been injured as well and is in a critical but stable condition, and her injuries are not life-threatening. There were shots heard at 1 a.m. and the police were called in Devonport. They went to the scene, which is literally, Devonport Police Station is literally at the end of William Street. And they found 1 dead man inside the house. A second wounded man died a short time later. So the second man was alive when they made it to the scene. And a woman found wounded outside the house is in hospital. Early investigations indicated the dead man was the alleged shooter and that he knew both of his victims. So reading from that, it sounds like the 2 people he shot were alive. Unfortunately, the man did die, but it sounds like he then turned the gun on himself and he actually, got it right with himself. He knew both of the victims. And then there's some footage of where they've roped off the crime scene in William Street. The gun has been recovered. The press conference that wasn't streamed, that happened at 11 o'clock this morning, Detective Inspector Kim Stevens said the woman's in a serious but stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. One of the children, aged 10, had witnessed the shooting and was being cared for by a psychologist. Both of the kids that were at the property were taken to the Launceston General Hospital, which is just over an hour's drive from Devonport, and the other child is a 12-month-old. And investigations are continuing, so they're asking people to stay away from William Street, and there's another photo of William Street cordoned off as a crime scene. And that's the story. So, yeah, very strange to see a headline like that in Australia. It's not that shootings don't happen here, but they're very rare. Yeah, we don't know the story yet, Joey. It happened in Devonport, up in the northwest of the island. But yeah, it's way too early. They haven't. That's the amount of information we've got, and that article's been updated with information that came out at the press conference. I'll just refresh the Taspol Facebook page one more time. They haven't put in any updates still at all. So yeah, it's a major incident. It's horrible and horrible for the families and friends, and also for the children, because fortunately it sounds like the woman is going to recover. Presumably she's their mum, but we don't know. But it sounds to me like it was a couple with the kids and a very horrible dude. So, yeah. Well, yeah, the 10-year-old witnessed it, according to the information that came out at the press conference. The 12-month-old, no, they haven't said anything about the 12-month-old witnessing it, but it's pretty horrible. So, on that note, I did play a positive song when I ended the other live, just to try and make us all feel a little bit better. The link is broken to the ABC. Oh, let me just check that out. Page not found. Hang on a sec. Do I still have the window open? I've got so many ABC windows open, it's ridiculous. Let me just try another link. I'll update it and see if it works, because, yeah, it happens all the time on the community page. It's a pain in the buttocks. Okay, programs. I'll go to Leon. The show from yesterday morning is still there. It looks like, it's missing for some reason on the community. That's happened a few times. It's probably me, actually. Operator error. Community page, edit. Yeah, that's a completely incomplete link. Okay, it's now been posted with the full link. I'll just double check. Yep, it takes you to the page there. This is why I need to go. I need to feed myself. Yeah, there's news stories, but I wanted to actually broadcast the press conference live. ABC News Australia on YouTube's a great channel. I recommend you all subscribe to that. And the other one I recommend you subscribe to is Australian 60 Minutes. I don't think there's any more information other than what we've been chatting about anyway. Let's just see what they're talking about.
It's becoming leader. It's far from the resounding. How do you
to evade capture for 25 years. How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you
what's
help
this?
catch this fugitive? Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen
No.
and join the all-new hunt wherever you get your podcasts. Admit it. These days, what you...
That's the American ABC. Curious to see what they're covering, but it's all ads. And the Australian ABC is doing a story about an economic issue.
Calls where the person stays on the line and requires assistance.
But anyway, there'll be plenty of stuff out there about it, of course. It's not a typical Aussie story. And if you wanted to post the link, Scout, go for it, because I might play Bill Withers again. I am going to go and get some food, though. I'm so hungry. It's lunchtime, and I don't eat before I go to the gym, and I'm wilting. I'm wilting. But you don't need to, Scout. Like, we can... oh, you've done it. You're speedy. Yeah, 60 Minutes Australia. They do a great job. Post the show. Oh, the link to... That's the link to the radio show I did yesterday, and if you look on the community page, it'll give you the timestamp. I think it's 1 hour, 12-minute mark. We kick off. So jump forward to that. Unless you want to listen to Leon's show. He's lovely. You might want to listen to all of it. But that link stays active on the ABC website for a week. So you've got plenty of time. Anyway, beautiful people, have a lovely weekend. I won't play a song. I will just end this and get some food before I pass out. And, yeah, I'll be live later making that salad. I might even make a fairly light lunch now and make the salad and pig out on it this afternoon. But I hope you all have a beautiful night or morning or lunch, wherever you may be. And, yeah, I'm going to go put some food in my gut. Love you, Groovers. Thanks for hanging out with me again, and not a great story to be going live about, but it's just such an unusual headline and it's such an unusual event. I felt it needed to be covered. Stay groovy, everyone. See you again very soon in the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. Bye for now.